Speaking of Afghanistan's president, the current President Hamid Karzai says there's no way that al-Qaeda-linked groups would be making a comeback in the country, just like they did, like they're doing in Iraq. He says he was in regular dialogue with the Taliban, and they're in touch with him every day. He denied there was al-Qaeda presence in Afghanistan at present. He says that he's convinced that previous U.S. President George Bush's war on terror in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks in 2001 should not have been fought in Afghan villages and homes. In an apparent reference to Pakistan, he says it should have been prosecuted in sanctuaries beyond their borders. Let's turn to Ukraine now, where President Petro Poroshenko has presented a peace plan which will be calling for unilateral ceasefire of government forces across the country. The president wants the ceasefire to happen in a matter of hours. He said this after a meeting with President Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, over the phone. And during the conversation, they discussed a solution to the crisis east of the country, where pro-Russian rebels have been fighting government forces. More than 30 gunmen were killed and wounded in fighting near the town of Shatia in Luhansk region on Tuesday. A spokesperson for the government's anti-terrorism operation confirmed that story. But Kyiv also said that 147 Ukrainian military personnel had been killed and 267 more injured in fighting, which has been taking place since March. The Donetsk and Luhansk regions have deteriorated significantly over the past month. When we come back after the break on The World Today, our focus on Africa. Kenya makes arrests of suspects in Sunday's attack. And how did the young boy get there? Authorities find the body of a young boy on the runway of the country's main airport. Please join us again.
You see, life has just got easier. You stay connected to Channels TV, where news and innovations are shaping our world. Simply log on to channelstv.com to get the breaking news. Browse the homepage according to what matters to you. Tap on the extended coverage of business, sports, politics, lifestyle, infotech, entertainment, health, world news, and lots more. Click on the live link and see the news in real time. Do you want to watch the latest video of the day? It's just a click away. Friend us on Facebook, YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Google+, participate in Channels TV poll and share your comments. It's a website you can talk to. Your voice will be heard.
ChannelsTV.com. The news at your fingertips.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching The World Today on Channels Television. Here in Nigeria, residents of Damaturu in Yobe State are still reeling in shock after a bomb blast which killed 7 people at a World Cup viewing center this morning thronged to the General Sani Abacha Stadium Specialist Hospital, where the injured are being treated. As some people at the scene say that an attacker dropped a device in front of the venue yesterday night and then ran off. Others say that it was the work of a suicide bomber, but the injured at the hospital are recounting their experience.
The scene here speaks for itself. Remnants of a destruction so mind-boggling, most wonder what could possibly want to make anyone destroy human lives so easily and without remorse. The body parts here are so grotesque that few on seeing this will be able to hold a meal down. The General Sani Abacha Specialist Hospital. This is where the dead and the survivors were taken to after the bomb went off. The pain is definitely intense, but it could have been worse. Some others died, but at least these ones, in spite of the pain, are alive to tell their story.
Kaicin takaitawa ne dai abin da na iya gani, abin da kuma na sani a kai shine mun zo shago za mu ajiye kayan mu a freezer, sai ga bayan Allah sun zo a napep sun zo sun fakawansu ke da wuya 'yan mintuna ne tsakani, kawai sai muka ji wannan abu ya riga da ya faru.
Na tani na tsaya sai recharge card kawai abin ya tashi, ban san daga iyanmu ba ne arewa ne kudu a ban sani ba kawai ya tashi na ji abu ya bugi kafa na yanda na yi na jan gindi na da mene na je tasha.
Mun zo wucewa ne muka tsaya sayar cacika daidai gurin da abin ya faru, to muna nan daidai daga kudu da mu kafin mu hankara abu ya riga faru. Kaga kowa ta kansa zai yi, ba zai tsaya ta abin da yake faruwa ba. Mu dai muna godiyan Allah da ya sanya rayuwar mu bata kare akan haka ba, sai dai wanda na so rayuwar ta kare Allah jikansu da gafara.
As the survivors recount their experience, the state government, represented by the deputy governor, makes an entrance. Government, like many others, condemns this heinous act and goes on to offer its assistance to the victims. The Yobe state government also wants the federal government to intensify the war against terror in the country.
I would like also to seize this opportunity to call on the security personnel not to deter, not to despair. They should remain focused and pursue our goal of finding the bad people around us. This thing has been going on for a very long time. Let's endure. Inshallah, it will come to an end.
But truly, for the people of Yobe State and other states in the northeast region, watching football at a viewing center appears to be a dangerous pastime. Once again, the ball is in the court of the authorities to secure the lives of its vulnerable citizens.
Well, moving north of Africa now, the Libyan government has condemned the operation by the U.S. to capture Hamid Karzai, the man it says is behind the attack on the U.S. embassy in Benghazi in 2012. Washington earlier said Mr. Abu Karzai was being held in a secure location outside Libya. The Libyan Justice Minister Salah al-Maghani said Tripoli had not been informed about the U.S. operation in advance. He also said the suspect must be returned to Libya and tried there because the local authorities had issued an arrest warrant against him. He provided no further details on the matter. Much earlier, the Pentagon's press secretary, Rear Admiral John Kirby, said there were no civilian casualties related to the U.S. operation. But he also refused to give further details about the U.S. raid. He only said that it happened near Benghazi and on Sunday afternoon, U.S. East Coast time. East of Africa, the Kenyan government has arrested several people in connection with the attacks that took place in two towns on Sunday. A local police chief, David Kamayo, said that one of those who had been arrested was taken for using social media to say that Al-Shabaab was behind the attacks. President Uhuru Kenyatta has refused to blame Al-Shabaab, instead laying the blame on local political groups for the attacks. Gunmen killed dozens of people in Mpeketoni town near the tourist resort